Hi everybody, Candace here with Greener Farms DIY, and today I'm going to take you through how to make the In the Hoop no-touch face mask. This is a little bit different than the face mask that came out yesterday. We have a total of 4 free no-touch face masks. One is a design template that you sew on your sewing machine, and that one has the contours for the face. It's really quite cool looking. And then we have this one, which is very functional, and it has a turning pocket, and you can put one of those little safety masks down on the inside through the turning pocket. This comes in a small kids, a teenager size, and then a larger adult. So between the two files, you're able to get a huge group of individuals that might want to wear one of these masks. So look under the announcements on the Greener Farms DIY Facebook group, and that is where you will find the design link as well as the promo code. You must put the promo code in to have it free. And I'm doing this freebie through the COVID-19 pandemic that we're going through. This is my gift to you and your gift to the rest of the community that you're going to hand this out to. So please do not share that promo code. That is for the Facebook group members only. If you do not have the code and you want the code, please join the Greener Farms DIY Facebook group. All right, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and kick us off, and we're going to go ahead and talk about how to make this. It's one of the most simplest steps to follow. You'll get a text file. There's a ton of pictures in the download that you're going to get with your design file, and I'm just going to take you through the 4 color sequences that are going to stitch out. The first one is the placement stitch. All right, now we are done with the placement stitch. All right, so right now where we're at is we're going to be putting all of our pleated fabric down, and I'm going to go ahead and show you how we make this pleated fabric, and then we're going to be attaching our little elastic cording, and I do knot one edge, one side, so that way it doesn't pull through that stitch. So the way that we're going to do this is we're going to come over to the ironing board. Let me get us all positioned. And the easiest way to do this is to take your fabric, fold it in half. Now mind you, we already did the outside, but I'm going to show you how the outside and the inside are done exactly the same. So we iron it to the middle, we open it up, then we take the raw edge and we bring it up to the middle, creating another crease. So we're kind of making 3 parts here. And then we take the top and we move it down to the crease. All right, and then now we flip it over, just like that. So we see 3 creases right there. And we did that with the front side that you saw on the hoop just a second ago. Now I like to start at the top, so what I do is I just grab it with my fingers and I move it up so I could see about 1 inch. Then I press it. You want this nice and flat, and if it's not nice and flat, then you're going to want to tape it down because you don't want your presser foot to catch it. Now you see there's the bottom of the fold right there. We want to grab this and we want to move it up to just right below the bottom of that fold. We make another pleat, and then we press it. All right, and then you can guess with this one, we do the exact same thing. We come up, we press it. Now there's a lot more fabric at the bottom, so I do what I call a half pleat. So it's just a little bit more, it's half the amount is what I'm going to press it. And so I just take this little tiny area and I'm just going to press that. I'm not starching it. I'm not using anything like that because I know this is going to go on somebody's face potentially. I mean, it's all pre-washed and you're going to want to wash it before you use it, but there's no point in pressing it. So, all right, so the next step we're going to do is we're going to be putting our little cords in, our little pieces of elastic. And so make sure you're going through and you're tying knots on each end. And all I do is I just grab it and I tie that little knot. Okay, so I'm going to do this. So both sides are going to have a little knot in it. With fingernails, it's not easy, but... All right, so I got knots on each side, which is great. Now I'm gonna let the placement stitch for these stitch out. This is just letting me know where I'm going to be putting this cording. Now, I don't think I cut my fabric quite as wide. I'm using scrap fabric, but for you guys, just follow the directions. You're going to be making sure your fabric is the width of the direction. All right, so now we're at the next step. All right, so what we want to do is we want to go ahead and put our little straps in that are going to go around your ear. And for that, I use good old-fashioned tape. And then there's my little guidelines, and so let me just make sure I see it. Yep, right there. So all I do is I position this to have the little knot right outside the raw edge, and that allows it so it doesn't pull back out when somebody's wearing it. All right, so taped in place, and I can see that's right over that little placement stitch, so it's going to catch it, and then it's also going to catch it when it does its final stitch around. I'm just going to tape this one in place. Make sure I get that in that spot. Then we're going to grab this piece and we're going to put it right over that placement stitch, tape it in place. So now we're almost done. And now what we want to do is take that lining piece of fabric and we want to put it down. So if it had a direction to it, like maybe there was a print or something you wanted to use, you would want to make sure your right sides are touching. Okay, and then we're just going to go ahead and let our stitch out and catch our seam all the way around. Now if you are worried that we can bring that down a little bit. If you're worried that your presser foot is going to catch this, then I highly encourage you to tape it down. So I just finger press it again and see how that's kind of puffing up right there. If you have a domestic sewing machine, embroidery machine, it may actually hit when it comes back around, and so you may want to go ahead and tape that down. All right, so this is actually tacking down our elastic right now. And you can do that before you put the lining down, but I kind of do it in this sequence, but you're more than welcome to do it whatever sequence you like. When I do it like this, it kind of tacks down that little part that puffs up. Now the other thing you can do is you can run the placement stitch twice to tack down your first piece of fabric if you choose. There's just a lot of options with this. You're in total control. All right, so now it's gonna go all the way around and it's gonna close off this entire mask. It's leaving a little turning pocket. Right, now we're done stitching out the design. We're simply going to take it out of the hoop. Now we're all done with that part. We're going to trim it. Now I just follow it all the way around. You don't want to cut your knots off, okay? Because if you cut those knots off, then it's just going to back right out of the mask, okay? So you want to make sure you don't cut the knots. And this is all going to be on the inside, so you don't have to be perfect. And all we do is go to the turning hole, which is right here. Put our finger in. And then we're going to just go all the way down to the corner. Push the corner through, just like you would anything that you're sewing inside out. And you just start working the fabric out. Since we pressed it really good, we'll be able to pull it and get it to come back to its shape that we want it to be. And then we're going to pull all of that tape off. We're going to find the edges, or the corners, just like this. And I'm using my fingers. If you have a tool to push out your edges, go ahead and use the tool to push out your edges. And it looks like we are almost done. All right, perfect. So with this, we have a little turning pocket right there. We have our pleats on both sides. It looks like that corner I need to push out just a little bit more. Just like that. Give it a little bit of a pull. And then what you want to do is go through and press that down one more time. And you can top stitch it. You can give it a nice top stitch, which will help it as it goes through the washer. But those are all pressed down. And when somebody washes it and goes to dry it, it should be able to go back into form pretty easy. They're just going to want to hit it with an iron. And if you wanted to go ahead and stick a safety mask down in there, you do have this little turning pocket, and you just want to close it with maybe Velcro, or even just leave it open so they can access it much easier. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching this video today. Please remember to like us on YouTube, to subscribe to us, and to please watch some of our movies out there. It really helps support us as a digital design artist, and we really appreciate you being part of the group. Thank you for making these masks to help fight, people touching their face with their fingers and spreading those icky germs to themselves. So we really appreciate you guys being a part of the group and helping make these for your communities, for people who want to have no touch face masks. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Bye.